I was definitely not expecting you to love it as much and as fast as you did.
I think I've played it every day since I signed up.
2 days later, he was getting an MMO mouse. Then we were looking at keyboards and like he was glamoring, he was dyeing his clothes. I didn't even do that. I was like, what the heck?
It's like, I gotta go on the market board by Glamour Prism.
Hey everyone, Heather here, and I am back. I had to take a year off this channel because life happened, but now I'm back on this channel, and a big reason why is because my husband Tom actually wanted to give Final Fantasy XIV a try. As you'll see, he's never played a Final Fantasy game before, and he's never played an MMO. But a few weeks ago, he downloaded Final Fantasy XIV, I resubscribed, and smash cut to today. He's almost done with Heaven's Ward. So in the rest of this video, I asked Tom what his experience was like being a newbie to both of these worlds. I think he's enjoying it, but I'll let him speak for himself. Hi.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tom. I'm a level 61 Black Mage Sprout.
Have you ever played a Final Fantasy game?
No, I've never played a Final Fantasy game. I'd never even played any kind of RPG style game until less than a year ago. The first one I played was Chrono Trigger because that's your favorite game. And then I jumped into Earthbound and Mother 3, which were awesome. And then we jumped into Like a Dragon, which was quite a leap from Earthbound to PS5, which isn't like super RPG. But then we did Infinite Wealth, which kind of goes back and forth. And then we did Yakuza 0, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever played an MMO?
No, never. I didn't even quite understand what it was. I mean, I knew like I didn't get it. No.
So would you describe yourself as a gamer?
Not up until this year. I mean, I always liked games. Like I wanted nothing more than an NES when I was like 4 or 5 or whatever. I had that. I had the Nintendo 64. I had a Sega Saturn. I had a maybe that was it. I had a PS2, Game Boy Color.
But just never RPGs.
I never had RPGs, and I kind of stopped playing games right around the age of 13 up until like adulthood, pretty much.
I don't think I knew that.
Because I was getting really into them, and I part of me is kind of glad because that was right when games were getting really good,
yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like for the good of my own
the rest
life,
of us kept going, yeah.
I think I would have never like emerged into the world, so it was probably for the best.
Why the heck are you playing Final Fantasy XIV?
Because
what made you?
Oh, actually, it's not. Well, it is you. You connected some dots. So, did the whole retro RPG thing, which I really like, because then I finally understood it. I saw you play these games, and they're like numbers on screen, and it just
nothing makes sense. The numbers were so confusing as a kid. I was like, why are there numbers popping up on the enemies?
And if you have something like, if you play Final Fantasy XIV, next time you're in, I don't know, like a battle or a dungeon or a trial or whatever, just step back and look at the screen and pretend you've never seen it before. And just look at all the stuff that's happening, all the info, all the HUD. Like, nothing about it makes sense. Like, Mario goes down the pipe. I get it. I loved Chrono Trigger, but I think Earthbound and Mother 3 was my Chrono Trigger because it was the one where it just really clicked and like the story just jumped out.
Wow.
Like, it's so good.
I tried playing Earthbound, but it's too old school for me.
Well, I didn't know any better. I hadn't played anything else, so that was that's all that it was to me. I didn't know any better. And I wanted sort of like, I like that feeling, that vibe, and I've been looking for like other old retro RPGs or whatever. And then I don't remember exactly how I got into it, but I discovered that there is a world of literary RPGs, books that are RPGs. They're not choose your own adventure. It's not like, do you want to pull out your fire card or what? Like, it's not that. It's just books and stories that are written in worlds that have rules that essentially function the way an RPG functions and the way things are
explained. There's leveling up, there's adventuring, there's bosses.
So I found a trilogy called Jake's Magical Market, which is I can't even tell you how much I love it. It's so good.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it so much that I immediately just blasted through like the whole trilogy. I thought it was funny because I was like, I understand this stuff and I wouldn't have understood what's happening in this, a year ago or 2 years ago. And then I convinced you to start reading it.
Yes.
And you were reading the first book and you were kind of going through some of this, and then you realized
25% in to reading Jake's Magical Market and hearing how much Tom loved this book, I was like, this is exactly Final Fantasy XIV. The main character, Jake, is talking about how he has these cards that are spells and he's like trying to mix and match and there's cooldowns. And then you level up, you get experience, you get stronger, you run dungeons. And I was just like, this is exactly Final Fantasy XIV. And if you like this much, boy, don't I have something.
Don't you want to be the one that like is doing the things? That was the thing that made it like accessible, where it didn't seem like this thing that I just couldn't understand or wasn't into, but like, oh, now I actually get it, and I wanted to jump in and give it a try.
For the record, how old are you?
I'm 38 years old.
I'm 39 years old. So 38 years old, discovering the Final Fantasy franchise for the first time, and then MMOs. That's like, I don't know if that's normal. I think that's
it's not normal.
Older age to discover.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched you play I've watched you do the Final Fantasy VII remake. I watched you do 15 and 16.
Wow, look at him. Look at you.
Yeah, I know. I even tried dabbling in 6 on my analog pocket, but I just wasn't.
Yeah.
After playing Earthbound, it just wasn't clicking in the same way for me. 14 though doesn't work like those, so it is very different.
Yeah. My only concern was I knew you would like it if you liked that book, but it's not just a game, it's the MMO
It's a lifestyle.
It's like all the people.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy XIV is a 12-year-old game, and when you jump in, I was super overwhelmed, and I have been playing video games and RPGs my whole life, so I was a little bit like, oh gosh, I hope he doesn't.
So check
that was a leap.
This is where starting with the old RPGs I think was really helpful, because they have no quality of life improvements at all.
Random battles.
Yeah, the way your inventories work, the way the interface works, everything is so primitive, which I didn't know. I had a great time.
You had no other.
That's the only thing I'd ever experienced. So even though you're like, oh, it's overwhelming and stuff, instantly I was like, oh, your HP and your MP just recharge? Are you serious? I don't have to like keep going and buying like
you could avoid
infinite hamburgers to like level this up or anything. Like there were already so many quality of life perks. I was jumping into a new century, literally, of gaming, decades beyond what I was doing before, that I think that really helped. Final Fantasy especially is such a 14 is such a journey of like, you have your character and you sort of go through the story and the world on your own. So it's not, there's no wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Where are you now?
I think I'm maybe like 2/3 through Heaven's Ward.
So A Realm Reborn is notorious for being, I don't want to say the worst one, but I think if you objectively examine all of the expansions, it just gets better. Obviously, you liked it enough to keep going.
Oh, it was great. I had no problem. It was awesome. You know, like halfway through, you're like, who's your favorite character and stuff? And I was like, well, my character. Like, I had no connection. It takes a while before you start to understand character personalities in the world and like, where's this? Like, I don't know the different locations. Like, that took a long time to, at least for me, to connect with. But just being in the world and playing in the game was really fun, and just figuring out how it works and leveling up, and it's so satisfying and encouraging early on because you can level up so fast and you get a new spell and yeah.
How would you say that this game is different from other games you've played?
It's like really intense Animal Crossing.
You haven't even gotten to Island Sanctuary.
I don't mean that. I don't mean like the building farming thing, but I mean the way you can kind of play your own way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like playing with Legos. Like there's no wrong way to play. Obviously, like you have to do certain things to progress through the story, but honestly, like if you just stayed a level 20 character and you just wanted to just keep like hunting forever, or you just want to do all the side quests in Realm Reborn and never even go to Heaven's Ward, like you could do that.
Yeah.
And I really like that because it's just sort of like you can kind of explore it. I was very intimidated by the online part, the O of MMO, because I didn't really want to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Getting teamed up with like other sprouts to go through dungeons for the first time and stuff is actually really nice.
What has been your least favorite part?
Oh, the patch content. Not even. Okay, I shouldn't say the patch content, like the middle of the patch content.
And you're referring to a Realm
Reborn patch content. That was, at no point was I gonna think like I'm done, I don't want to play anymore. But like it's tedious. The thing I kept in mind, which is why I'm not really like bitter on the patch content, is looking at what it was. Like Realm Reborn came out, that's all that there is to the game.
Yeah.
And so if someone in 2011 or whatever played through all of that, finished it,
maxed
you have nothing.
Out, that's it. Yeah.
And then you get this little patch chapter, and it's like, okay,
2.1.
Yeah. But also when you play through it all together, it's something that was meant to be like experienced over a longer period of time, and you're just smashing through the whole thing, you know, in a week or whatever. Then the repetitiveness and but if you think like every chapter would have been, you know, months, I guess, in between, I feel like it would be a very different experience, because that's where all the dialogue boxes are like, oh my god, I know you're going to tell me to go talk to this person, and that person is going to tell me to talk to another person, I'm going to go back talk to the first person before I talk to you again, and that's my whole quest. I would have been like savoring every dialogue box,
of course,
if that was it. Once I finished it, I'm caught up and there's no more content. The story of the patch, there's parts of it that I'm kind of like, I can't believe this isn't in like a main expansion, and this is patch content, and the end of the patch content really picks up like crazy. So it there's a payoff there for sure.
We have to talk about your first and probably last
Lord
raid experience. 24 people, Labyrinth of the Ancients, Circus Tower, and World of Darkness.
Yeah,
I think we did it all in one day.
We did, because I needed to get through it, and I never went. So hey, developers, don't make that required. I get it. I get you want people to experience it so they know that these giant raids are an option. It is everything I thought Final Fantasy was, that I didn't like prior to knowing any of this about it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is all of that. It's chaos. It's disorganized. I don't even really understand why we're doing it. It doesn't really seem to be super connected to the story. I'm a newbie. I can't even like pay attention or watch or enjoy anything. So it's just like...
And of course, at this point, like everyone is running it at, you know, everyone else has done it. Yeah, they've done it 10,000 times. So they're just like cutting corners.
I don't know the mechanics. I'm falling behind and getting teleported into the battle because I'm running too slow. Like
Tom hates being the one holding people back just in life. And so this was that over and over.
Yeah.
And you were not having fun.
The first one was the worst, which is weird because it was like why would that be the one with the most confusing mechanics?
Yeah, you have to like half the group has to stand here.
Yeah, why is that first? The second one felt a lot more like I wouldn't want to do it again. It's so
obvious when you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
In the first one, yeah.
Because how would you? No sane person would figure this out. The second one was the one that like felt more understandable. That just should be the first one. Yeah. I didn't like it, and I wouldn't want to do it again. But at least it was like, okay, this is fine. So if you go through the story until the point comes where they essentially don't let you progress until you do it, and then you finish it and you jump back into the story,
it feels disjointed.
It's so disjointed, and there's so much whiplash because you.
It is. I
couldn't even. I was like going through, and I was like, wait. That's right. Nothing we're talking about here has anything to do about what I just spent the last day doing.
Yeah.
And this is the payoff. This is the most intense, the biggest part of everything I've been going for in the patch content. Weird, So it's like you kind of have to shift your gears.
Tom and I are sitting side by side in here playing together. And I definitely have to be like, everyone's Final Fantasy XIV experience is their own. You have to do what you gravitate to. Tom and I haven't really been able to play very much because my Dragoon is level 90. Whenever we get into duty roulette with my Dragoon, we're 2 DPS. And
oh my god, it's 20-minute waits. Yeah.
So to kind of help with this, I started a white mage class, which I've never done healer before. That's going to be a separate video. You know, I was starting from level 1, and then I was like, okay, I'll go with you. Progress with you. But it was just so hard to do healer that, yes, we would instantly get into the dungeon, but I was so scared. And still am scared of
you have typed sorry into the chat a lot of times.
Oh my god, my party is wiped. It's all my fault. Like, it's a lot of anxiety. So I think for the most part, you've chosen to do duty support with the NPCs.
The thing that's nice about duty support, the thing that's not nice about it is, okay, there was the one trial, Ifrit's first trial, where like you can't beat it with them. You saw it's like not.
Even with the power of the Echo, nothing. Tom could not get through Ifrit.
Like, but just first time with other actual players because
so then you jumped in with other players.
So there's a huge benefit to other players and like that things just become better. And especially as a black mage, when I go through a thing, everybody waits for me to initiate. So like, there's no tank running to
the tank waits for
pull
you.
everybody or whatever. That's weird. But the nice part about it is there's no time pressure, like watching cutscenes or like, wait, what's over here around this corner or whatever. Like, there's none of that pressure, which is really nice.
So it's been a month.
Yeah, actually today got charged the first time for my subscription.
You're going to keep going.
Oh yeah. No, I'm in it.
All right. So at this point, we're going to do the spoiler warning. You're halfway through. You just did the vault.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you don't want to, I don't know. I feel like if you're watching this, you've at least played through Heaven's Ward. But let's get into the MSQ.
Sure. Up to this point, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
It's much more cohesive in Heaven's Ward.
Okay.
Everything kind of comes together. So spoilers. The end of the patch content, like that whole scene with the dinner party and all that, and the crystal break, like that was, season finale television quality. That was really good.
You're next to scheming bastard.
That was like a crazy jump into like, now I just feel very alone. I don't have my whole like scions with me and everything. It's kind of cool because there's like the two stories, right? Like, because there's all the fallout from the dinner party, from the attempted assassination.
Yes.
Everything that's happening in Ul'dah, basically.
Yeah.
And then there's everything that's happening in Ishgard.
Mm-hmm.
And
look at him say these words. I did.
They do a really nice job of like giving you enough time in one till you kind of hit a point, and then you shift to the other story and pick up, and then you shift back to this one. And it's like, it's that thing where every time it shifts, I'm like, no, I want to focus on this more. But then you 10 minutes later, you're on board with this.
Yeah. So who's your favorite character at this moment?
Sorry, I have to think. I just saw Horshaphon.
Look out!
That I didn't expect.
Yeah.
That was a bummer. After that, I just went and joined the White Mage Guild, or the Conjurers Guild, so that I could like, just tell me about Earth and like saving and energy and positivity, and let me just go like deal with that for 6 levels because I need to cleanse the palette.
Yeah.
You said that you thought I would really like Alphino after he kind of like gets humbled a bit. And I do. I don't know that he would be my favorite though. Like I really like Sid because of his whole, just who he is and what he does. I really came around on, I can't think of her actual name. Iselle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lady Iceheart. When she was Lady Iceheart and you're fighting her, she drove me absolutely nuts. I was like, you drank the Kool-Aid of your cult. Like, give it up, lady. But she's really come around. I've really come around to her and like her story and her goal. Like I like that. Yeah, I mean, then there's like Emilion. Is that his name?
Oh, Amanalane? Well, that's what I say. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the like spoiled son. He's not like my favorite, but he's
funny though.
Yeah, he's just
like, so funny.
He's enjoyable every time he's in a scene.
Yeah,
it's like really funny. Raban is like so good.
He's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, and that I feel bad for this because I know that I feel bad saying this about anything, whether they're fact or fiction, but also because I know the problems it caused. But when he killed Teleji, that was like so satisfying because there was no chance for him to like soak up the glory of his like plan or whatever they thought he did. He was just like gutted and dead. It was just like, yeah.
What are you really looking forward to?
It's almost a thing where like I want to pace. I feel bad pacing myself because I know you're waiting for Dawn Trail for me and everything. I have to be like so long from now.
The thing that I said was I would not. I am at 6.2. That's where I left off. And that is patch content of Endwalker. I told myself I would not progress through the MSQ until Tom and I.
She told herself that I would be okay with that because I'm over here like sometimes I just want to do side quests, and that's something I look forward to. Is just like I just want to spend a day just
trying other classes, doing
trying other classes. Let me talk to this rando over here and see what mail they need me to deliver. Like because that's where some of the most enjoyable things. Speaking of surprising things, this was a thing that caught me real quick. The number of Simpsons references in dialogue. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like classic era Simpsons episodes. There's so many. And at first I was like, something popped up and I was like, that could be a coincidence. And I had to go look it up to go like, did this originate in The Simpsons or was The Simpsons referencing something else? And Final Fantasy and Simpsons are both just referencing, a 400-year-old saying or something. No, that wasn't the case. And then there were very, very direct references where it's like, oh, wow.
You have selected regicide.
That's awesome. And I'm sure there's other references too to other things that I'm not catching on to, but those are the ones that really stick out to me.
So the last time when I was playing Final Fantasy XIV, I think I stopped playing a year ago. I played through all of the MSQ, made a video on this channel, and then when I started this channel, I was like, oh, you know what? I really want to make videos about the lore and the story, and I just want to make more Final Fantasy XIV content. So I started over. I did New Game Plus, and I recorded every single freaking cutscene. A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, and Stormblood.
You should see the spreadsheets for this.
I had a spreadsheet with all my analysis and like summaries of everything, potential video ideas.
It's in depth.
Yeah, it was nuts.
If you showed me that and you were like, oh, these are the notes from someone who helped develop the game, I'd be like, yeah, it's that detailed.
It's very detailed. One of the reasons why I stopped, like with this channel, paused, is because when I got to the beginning of Shadowbringers, I was like, you know what? I had the itch to just stream the whole thing instead of record the whole thing. And then I couldn't decide which one I was going to do. And then I didn't do either. And then life happened and we got super busy. So all that to say, Shadowbringers and Endwalker, I have forgotten, basically. Like, I think I remember, most of the main plot points, but even having done A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward twice, through you, there's still stuff from, it's like, it's just like watching your favorite show again. There's just new things to pick up on and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to do Shadowbringers and Endwalker with you, and I wouldn't want to do Dawn Trail without doing Shadowbringers and Endwalker again, because I definitely don't remember from 2 years ago. So that's why, that's a huge reason why, I don't want to continue with the MSQ.
So there's Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, and then what's the fourth one?
Shadowbringers.
But Endwalker.
And then Endwalker.
Oh,
and
Endwalker's.
then Dawn Trail.
Dawn Trail? No, Dawn Trail's 6?
7.
So what's 6?
And Endwalker.
What's 5?
Okay, Realm Reborn is 2.
Realm Reborn's 2?
Yeah, the base, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Pre-Realm Reborn.
There's only 5 titles here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why. So 2.0 is Realm Reborn. Get with it, Tom.
I didn't know that. I'm learning something here.
Would you be open to streaming?
Yeah, if I can just be a party member and not the party leader of the stream, sure, yeah.
So do you like Final Fantasy XIV?
I love it. I can see how it has the reputation that it does, and especially, gosh, the people who've been playing it for years and years and have grown with it. I get why someone would be incredibly attached to the game. Genuinely seeing the joy that the game brought you, and the joy that, when you were active on the channel before, that the whole community and the whole group, it was really cool. That definitely made me a lot more excited to jump in.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people who just want to play and have fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So we'd love to have you now. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm already working on my next video for this channel, and I'm sure we'll be streaming at some point, so stay tuned. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!